In this video, I'm going to show you how to attach a hole saw to a drill. Find out how, coming up next. What's going on, guys? Kendall here for Renos for Pros and Joes, helping you simplify the renovation and remodeling process. On this channel, we do hands-on product tool and gear reviews, as well as renovation tip and strategy videos like this one. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to install a hole saw onto a drill. There's several different setups for this, and I'm going to show you several of them, and hopefully one of these will pertain to your particular setup. So let's jump into it. All right, so the first type of setup is just a simple two-piece setup. As you can see here, I've got a hole saw that's already installed onto a mandrel. This is the hole saw piece here, and if you look closely, you can see that this is actually a hole saw that's designed for cutting ceramic and porcelain tile. You can see from the shape of the square teeth on there, that's what it's used for. And with this one, you simply screw the mandrel into the backside of the hole saw, and that's it. The reason why I don't have this one separated actually brings up a very good point, is that if you notice with this particular hole saw, there's nowhere on this hole saw to grab it with pliers or channel locks to be able to get a good grip in order to unscrew this portion off of it, which is our mandrel. And as luck would have it, these two seem to be fused together from use, and I don't have a good way to grip this, so I was not actually able to separate these two out. So this one was only used for cutting tile. So keep in mind when you're shopping for yours to make sure that when you look at your hole saws, make sure that you can determine whether or not you've got a place to grip on the actual hole saw to be able to separate the mandrel from the hole saw. Otherwise, you may find yourself in a similar situation, which brings us up to our next option. The next option is somewhat of a more traditional style. This particular one has a three-piece setup if you include the saw itself. So you can see here, this saw is made a little bit different. This one is designed for cutting wood, and you can see that from the teeth on this one. So we take this one, there's three pieces here. We've got our mandrel. Let me put that back together so that you can see it. So if you look at our mandrel here, we simply unscrew the nut off of there like that. And if you look closely, you can see that it's threaded here. We have a quick connection head here, and then we have our bit here for the drilling end of it. If you look closely here, if I turn this way, you can see that there's a small hole here. That hole is designed for an Allen wrench to fit in there, which you can use to tighten up the connection between this piece here and the drill bit. These really shouldn't be moving at all. As you can see, mine's kind of loose here, and I could really benefit from tightening it up. So that's a simple thing to do. So in any case, I want to show you one more thing. With this particular hole saw, you can see that it's kind of it has an oblong shape to it. If I turn it this way, you can see that it's not circular. So what we do is we look at the back end of our mandrel, and if you can see here, it has the same oblong shape. So what we do is we take our hole saw and we push the mandrel through, and you can see that it pops through there perfectly. So now we've got it in place, and then we take our nut here and then we screw it on here, slip there. Let's do that again. So now I've got it in there. I'll hold that in place, and then I'll just screw this down and hand tighten. It's up to you whether or not you want to put some additional pressure on this with a wrench or something like that. I would encourage you that if you have this style, that you take heed from what I showed you with the first hole saw, is that if you don't have a way to actually back this off or hold this portion while you unscrew or untighten this portion of it, you can potentially get it fused on there where you won't be able to separate the two. So just keep that in mind. So for something like this, I would highly recommend simply just hand tightening it, because see, I've hand tightened it and it's already a little bit difficult to get it back off of there. So this is a second option, which moves us on to our third option. The third option looks just like this. This particular style is a one-piece setup. So the actual mandrel does not separate from the hole saw. It all comes as one unit. As you can see, it has a quick connection on the end of it, and you still have that hole right here where you can tighten down your bit here inside of the mandrel and the saw blade. So one more thing I wanted to show you is that you've got two different sizes of these mandrels that are most popular. This is the larger size, and this is the smaller size, which is more common. You need to, of course, look into it and make sure that you're purchasing the right one which is going to be compatible with the hole saw that you're going to be using. So let's take the smaller size, for example, because this one allows us to do a couple of different things. Of course, you have the standard drill that will allow you to just put your bit in there, and then we just tighten down, and then we're good to go. But you also can install this one on the more traditional style drill, where we tighten down like this till we get it in place, and then we take our key, chuck key, if you can see it's got those teeth on there like that, and you've got holes here on the drill. You put that in the hole, and then you tighten it down. And if you're wondering why I've got this old key still has the packaging on it, some of you guys already know why. These things are very easy to lose, and it's something that you don't want to lose because it can be a huge inconvenience if you're out in the middle of a job or project and you can't find this to tighten down your bits on your drill. So that's why it's like that. So I've showed you two ways to do that. Let me back this one off real quick, and I'm going to show you one more way. I keep talking about the quick connect, but let me show it to you. So if you have the quick connect, you can actually use an impact driver to run your hole saw. And if you look here on the impact driver, you can see that the housing is different. It takes a specific size, and this is the size that it takes, and it has a quick connect like this. So you simply take that and pop it in there and you're done. So this is it. This is a impact driver, and you can run this like that. So pop that back out, that's it. All right, one final example, and I'm gonna show you with this big 6-inch hole saw and with this 1/2-inch Arbor. So with this particular style, you notice that our Arbor has two holes here on this piece that moves up and down. So this piece here does not spin or screw, it just simply moves backwards and forwards. If you look closely here on the front, you can see that there's threading here on the front, okay? And then here there's more threading back here on this back side. And then this piece here moves back and forth. So you can screw this one down or you can back it off, okay? So when we take our hole saw, if you look here closely, and it will be hard for you to see, but the inside here of this hole is actually threaded. So we're gonna take our hole saw and take our Arbor and place it through the hole, and then we're just gonna screw this down on there. Keep screwing it down, keep screwing it down, keep screwing it down, and so now that we've gotten it in here as far as we can turn it by hand, this is where we take our piece that spins with the two holes in it. So if you look on this side, you can see that there's 4 holes here. So 2 across from each other in these 2 different directions. So you want to line up this piece on the back here, and then you just push it through the hole. So if you can see there, I'm pushing it through this particular hole right here. So as you can see, it's still loose, but it's in the hole. So we have it in the hole. This is where we take this nut right here, and we just tighten it down here on the back side. And that's it, and we're done. So with this particular style, you probably aren't gonna need to tighten it with a wrench to get it as tight as you want it to, but you can if you want to. And if you notice with this particular style, obviously you can grab this portion with the wrench, but if you look closely, you can see here that this portion actually has a webbed textured surface, which will allow you to grip it with pliers or something like that to be able to break the connection if it's too tight between these 2 pieces, which will allow you to back this off like this, slip that out, turn that, and that's it. So I know that many of you were trying to figure out which piece of this goes on the inside, and the answer is no pieces go on the inside. Everything is done from the back, and it's quick and easy. So that concludes the different styles that we have for hole saw. I've showed you 1, 2, 3. I've showed you 4 different hole saws, and I've showed you 3 different drill / impact driver setups. So hopefully you found this video informative. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.